Welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning in to the series of death penalty drama. My TikTok viewers absolutely love my death penalty videos and I know you guys are going to love them too. This is kind of where I do a more lengthened version. So here I can actually cover all 6 executions that have happened in 2022, whereas on TikTok, they're shorter videos. I usually only cover 1 execution at a time. So let's get into the 6 executions that have happened in 2022. The first execution happened on January 27th. His name was Donald Anthony Grant, and this happened in Oklahoma. Donald Anthony Grant was convicted of killing 2 employees at a La Quinta Inn in 2001 in Del City, Oklahoma. It was kind of a robbery gone wrong. He didn't want any witnesses left, so he killed the employees that saw him. He died via lethal injection, although he offered to be executed via firing squad. And I know some people are listening to this like, firing squad, what do you mean? Some states still have the option of a firing squad, and I'm going to do a video on that separately because that's a whole video in and of itself. Some people can't even believe that the United States still has such a barbaric method of execution, but in my opinion, I think the firing squad, I don't know, it's kind of a quicker, more painless way out, but that's just my opinion. His last meal was sesame chicken, 6 egg rolls, shrimp fried rice, and an apple fritter. And he even requested, if they don't have dessert, give me 3 pints of strawberry ice cream. 3 pints, not 1, 3 pints of strawberry ice cream. On that same day, January 27th, there was an execution in Alabama. His name was Matthew Reeves. In 1996, Matthew Reeves and his brother were driving along on the highway. They were planning to commit a robbery and their car broke down. When their car broke down, some man pulled up and offered to help tow their car. Matthew and his brother ultimately decided to rob the man and kill him. And then Matthew allegedly went to a party right after with blood still on his hands. So in Alabama, inmates have a choice of how they want to be executed. And honestly, a few states give the inmates a choice, Alabama being one of them. And their choice in Alabama is lethal injection or nitrogen hypoxia. Nitrogen hypoxia is a newer method of execution. It's supposed to be the easiest method and most painless method. It hasn't been used yet, and it can't be tested because it's not ethical, obviously, to test death on humans. So, you know, the jury's still out on that one, but they do have the option between lethal injection and nitrogen hypoxia. So because they have this choice, all of the inmates are provided a form where they get to decide which method of execution they want. Matthew Reeves chose lethal injection. However, it came to his attention at some point that nitrogen hypoxia was a better way to go. So he sued under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and he claimed that his intellectual disability prevented him from understanding the form that he was given, and he wasn't explained anything on the form, nor could he understand it, so how could he know what his options were? The lower court blocked his execution, so temporarily put it on hold, but the Supreme Court ended up saying in a 5-4 decision, no, his intellectual disability was not to the level that he couldn't have understood the form. He could have understood the form, and because of that, his execution is going to go forward. He will be executed via lethal injection, and he actually declined a last meal. Okay, let's move on to the third execution of 2022, which happened on February 17th. His name was Gilbert Postelle. He was actually convicted of killing 4 people in a trailer home at a trailer park. Now, Gilbert's father instructed him and his brother to go to this trailer park and kill everyone inside this trailer home. His dad had issues with the people in the trailer home because his dad was actually involved in an accident years prior, and the person in the trailer home had caused the accident. Because of that, Gilbert's dad was forever disabled. So anyway, he wanted his revenge. So he sent his son, Gilbert, into the trailer to kill all 4 people, essentially. Keep in mind, he did this with his brother. So Gilbert himself received 2 life sentences. He died via lethal injection, and this was his last meal. He had quite the feast. I'm gonna reference my notes for this one. 20 chicken nuggets with a ton of dipping sauces, a crispy chicken sandwich, a regular chicken sandwich, 3 large fries with ketchup, a Coke, and a caramel frappuccino. He was eating good. Okay, then on April 21st, we had the execution of Carl Wayne Buntion, I think is how you pronounce it. He was 78 and he was Texas's oldest inmate. He was convicted of killing a Houston police officer back in 1990 and he was executed via lethal injection. He was very remorseful at the time of execution. His final words were an apology, how sorry he was, how he felt bad for what he did. And actually, the officer's widow was present at the execution, and she stated that after the execution was done, she felt like she could breathe for the first time. Okay, so then we have our 5th execution. This happened on May 3rd in Missouri. His name is Carmen Deck. Him and his sister were driving along. They decided they wanted to rob a house. They stopped off. They pretended they were asking for directions. The couple let them inside of their house, and he shot them in the head. This happened in 1996. It took him a long time to actually be executed because there were a lot of delays in the case. And again, I'm gonna reference my notes for this because this is pretty fact intensive. So his first conviction was overturned on appeal due to an error in jury instructions. He was sentenced to death a second time, but it was overturned by the United States Supreme Court because the court said him being shackled in court during the sentencing phase may have influenced the jury. A third jury returned death verdicts in 2008, but a federal judge vacated the sentence, agreeing with his defense attorneys, stating that there was not enough evidence in the third penalty phase to warrant a death sentence. In 2020, a federal appeals court ruled that that judge's decision was an error and reinstated the death penalty. All of his additional appeals were denied, but he attempted. He was executed via lethal injection, and he actually had a written final statement, which said, "My hope is that one day the world will find peace and that we will all learn to be kind and loving to one another. We are all a part of this journey through life, connected in every way. Please give love, show love, be love." His final meal? Ribeye steak, shrimp, asparagus, salad with Italian dressing, cottage cheese, and a V8 juice. Okay, let's move on to the most recent execution. This happened on May 11th in Arizona. His name was Clarence Dixon. He was convicted of sexually assaulting and murdering a student at Arizona State University in 1978. This case was completely cold until 2008 when DNA technology revealed that Clarence Dixon was in fact the culprit. It wasn't hard to find him though, because he was actually serving a life sentence for another sexual assault that he committed in 1986. His attorneys made multiple attempts to delay the execution, citing mental illness and disabilities such as blindness, but on April 28th, the Arizona Board of Executive Clemency, I think is the name, was like, nah. Okay, the execution's going forward, we're denying all your claims. So he was executed via lethal injection as well. If you can't tell, lethal injection is the most popular form of execution, and his last meal was KFC, a half a pint of strawberry ice cream, and a glass of water. So that's Clarence Dixon. The next execution is set to happen on June 8th in about 5 days. So I will keep you posted, of course. Follow along for more. Let me know if you loved this video. Like I said, my TikTok viewers love the death penalty videos. Let me know if there's any specific topics you want to hear about. I thoroughly enjoy talking about the death penalty and the methods of execution and things of that nature. So follow along on my death penalty drama series, and I will see you soon.